How's everybody doing? Frank Moses with You Are Not Alone. I know I've been putting hashtag You're Not Alone. That's going to be something that we just hashtag. We decided today that we're going to go with You Are Not Alone with proper English. So it'll be You Are Not Alone. Sorry for the delay. We've been trying to set up a software that runs straight from a laptop to the Canon that will project me on a live video feed. Did not work out too well. We've been messing with that for like the past 45 minutes. And then we went to go to the laptop and go live feed from the laptop. And then the laptop wouldn't let us go. So now I'm going straight from my phone, but I have Wi-Fi, I have a hotspot, so I shouldn't lag. If I do, I'm sorry. I hope I don't. But that's why we're here. Like I said, my name is Frank Moses. Last week I spoke a little bit about self-esteem. I talked a little bit about who I am, where I'm from. The video wasn't that great, so I'm going to kind of like go through like a brief recap of that before I get into our topic tonight of bullying. So like I said, I'm 24 years old. I'm from Sandusky, Ohio. I moved around a little bit from Sandusky to Margaretta to Bellevue, so I've been around. I know a lot of people, met a lot of good people, a lot of good friends. And that's kind of like why I'm here, because I've been around a lot and I've done a lot of different things. Not so good, very good, a little bit on and so forth. But tonight's topic is bullying. When it comes to bullying, I have a long history with it, good and bad, on both ends of everything. So where it started, when I was a kid. I was young. I still remember when I was real young and I was going into grade school that I was shy, scared to meet new people, scared of things. I remember my mom walked me into class and I sat down and I started crying because I didn't want to meet new people. I was so afraid of everything that I just started crying. So people kind of made fun of me for that. You know, I mean, I'm really young, so bullying starts young now. But at this time, I mean, I'm in like first, second grade, so it's not like the end of the world. But to me, everything fell apart. I got really good grades when I was young. I stayed to myself. I got good grades. Back in the day, we didn't get A's, B's, C's, D's, E's, F's, G's. We got the S for satisfactory. We got this, that, and the other, and I always got across the board. I was a good kid. I did everything I was supposed to do. Then things changed. I remember in fourth grade, when I was in fourth grade, things started changing for me. I became a totally different person. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I was young, so I became a different person when I was in like fourth grade. Started not doing so well, started like lashing out a little bit. By fifth grade, I moved to a different school. I moved to Madison Elementary. If you're from Sandusky, you'll know what Madison Elementary is. I moved there, and I remember just not being a good kid. I remember having problems. I remember one time I ran away from school. They called the police. A police car drove by, and I ran from that police car. When I ran from that police car, it made a terrible mistake because it went from me not being a good kid to me now being arrested as a fifth grader. And that kind of set the wheels in motion for a lot of different things. But one thing I always fell back on was baseball. I always had a good background in baseball. When I first started baseball, I was definitely afraid of baseball. My coach was Troy Keegan, and I give Troy Keegan more than I could ever put in words because he helped me become the man I am today. He took me under his wing. He did everything he could for me. My best friend was Trey, which was his son. Troy Keegan did everything in his power for me. Remember, I was a kid. I was so afraid of the baseball that when I was in the batter's box, he would throw a ball at me and I would jump out of the batter's box completely. He took every baseball bat that he had, set it behind my feet, and would throw the baseball at me on purpose, and I would still miss the baseball and I would jump over every baseball bat. He was like, Frank, we got to do something different. I was really fast. I was really good on the bases. He taught me how to bunt. He taught me how to face the baseball straight on and bunt. That next year, I batted over 800, and I made the first All-Star team. Now, you're probably thinking, like, what? Sorry. So, anyways, you're probably wondering, why am I talking about a baseball coming straight on? Because that baseball ended up representing life. and life's going to come straight on at you, and you need to take it right there like a bunt. You need to take it right there in front of your face, and you have to run with it, because you're going to lay it down and you got to run with it. And that's what that taught me, and that's what that represented as time got over. So that's kind of like a little bit about with that. And as I got older, I didn't have money, I didn't have things, I didn't have nice clothes, I didn't have nice shoes. Back in the day, we bought Fat Farm shoes, and they were too baggy, they were too big, but you know what? We rocked the hell out of them. We thought we were the shit. And at the time, it was cool, stuff like that. But I still got picked on. I still went through a lot of struggles. We didn't have money whatsoever. I didn't have nice gear for baseball and stuff like that. Like Under Armour stuff started becoming big. I didn't have Under Armour. I had Mizuno, which was pretty cheap. But Mizuno is pretty popular when it comes to their baseball gloves. But as far as cleats and pants, it's the worst of the worst. Sorry. We have a hot spot, but apparently it's not working the way I want it to. So like I said, I didn't have money. I didn't have all these nice things. I didn't have all these great things. But I had the will to play, and I had a good friend in Troy Keegan, and I had a father and a good baseball coach in Troy Keegan that took me under and helped me with everything. We also we played baseball and wrestling together. We started wrestling when we were in third grade, all the way up till we were in seventh grade together. So I did wrestling before I realized that I was 6'1" in eighth grade, so I should probably do a different sport. So from there, in seventh grade, I moved to Margaretta for my eighth grade year. When I moved to Margaretta, didn't know anybody. I moved there, and football was going on, so I went and tried to play football. But my baseball season was still going on because I was playing in a Little League World Series. And to me, that meant everything to me. So I wanted to play that. And so I quit football, and I went to the Little League World Series, and I played in that. And then when I came back to school, because I had taken some time off school, when I came back to school, like I said, where I'm from, we were wearing South Pole clothes, Fat Farm shoes, we were wearing all these different things. But when you go to a different school, you meet different people, and next thing you know, like American Eagle, Hollister, Aeropostale, all this stuff is like popular, everything's going on. Here I am wearing shirts that are 3 times too big for me, pants that are falling off my waist, and next thing you know, I'm getting picked on for that. And I remember coming home and talking about, like, I play baseball, I play in the Little League World Series, like, I'm this person, I'm that person, blah, blah, blah. Mom, why is this happening to me? Why am I getting picked on? I need different clothes, I need to do this, that, and the other. And like I said, my parents, they struggled, and I appreciate them so much, but they struggled, and yet they found a way to make sure that I could fit in. So they went out and they bought these clothes for me, made sure I could dress the way I wanted to dress, and I thought that would change everything. But at the same time, it really didn't. It didn't change really much of anything because, you know, nobody knows you. So I'm kind of an outcast. I'm a skinny, tall kid, long, shaggy hair, trying to find my way. As time goes on, I get better at sports. I become a really good basketball player. I become a good football player. And I become a really good baseball player because that's what I invested my time into. Next thing you know, when these things start coming along, I start changing who I am as the kid getting picked on to a popular kid that's going to start picking on others. I wanted people to feel the way that I felt. I wanted them to see what it's like, and that's the wrong thing that we need to do. In our generation now, people want to pick on each other because they got bullied as younger kids, or they just want to feel better about themselves, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. I wanted people to realize that this is what you are, you're no good, you're this, that, and the other, and that's not the case at all, because we're all equals. We're all created as equals for a reason, but at a young age, you don't understand that, and that's something that we battle with now. I was talking to my buddy who's helping me with all of this, and we were talking about different things we want to do with this program, and I was talking about how I want to get into high schools and different things like that, and then when it comes to bullying, he's like, man, people are getting bullied at a young age now. I sit back and think about it, and I teach baseball clinics. You know, I have 10, 11, 12-year-olds coming in, and I never thought twice that these kids might be getting bullied. Like, is that something I could talk about? And he's like, that's something you need to talk about, is bullying and suicide and all these different things, because it's happening in this generation that's so young. So at 10, 11, 12 years old, people are getting bullied because I know for a fact I was, and I never thought twice about it until now. So that's something I want to get into, is not only do I want to get in and speak to our young adults, speak to any adult, and our youth is my main focus, but 5th and 6th graders that are getting bullied, try to prevent that. I mean, I'm not going to be able, I can't sit here and promise you that I'm going to end bullying, but I can promise you that I will tell my story to the best of my ability and show them that on a bullying end and then going to a bully is the worst mistake I ever made when I was a kid. I mean, trust me, I made a lot of mistakes. I remember playing baseball with an ankle monitor on because I ran away from fucking school. You know what I mean? Like, I ran away from school. I ran away from doing these different things. I was with a kid that burnt down a garage. Like, next thing you know, I'm getting charged with arson. I'm wearing an ankle monitor trying to play baseball. I'm 12 years old. Like, my life is at jeopardy here, and I didn't think twice about it. And next thing you know, I'm trying to be a bully. That puts into perspective who I was. I didn't have morals. I didn't have these things that we need to teach our kids these days about having. And a lot of it comes from parenting. A lot of us parents don't, I was a parent at one time, and we don't really realize what the kids go through on a daily basis. And I think we need to take the time and figure out what they're going through so we can help with that. So like I said, I was a bully. I moved to Bellevue. That's where I went from Margaretta. And from there, everything stayed the same, if not got worse. I didn't really party, didn't do nothing of that nature. And so I moved to Bellevue. I started partying, hanging out with these kids, that kids. Next thing you know, like, I just didn't give a shit about anybody. I thought I was this, that, and the other. But I wasn't. Because I didn't put the time in with my baseball to take it to the next level. I didn't put the time in for anything. All I cared about who I was and what I was doing at the time. And that was probably the worst mistake I ever did. I still, on a daily basis, think about the choices I made when I was young. And that's why I want to give back to our kids, to show them that they're not alone through any of this. That if they're being bullied or they're bullies, that those things can change. Because over time, life's going to hit you and it's going to change you whether you want it to or not. And I would love the opportunity to show them that they don't want it to happen the way it happened to me. They don't want it to be forced upon them to change. I was forced upon it to change. I had a decision to make. Frank, if you don't get your shit together, your life's going to end up behind jail cells. And at some points it does. And that's something else I'll talk about, a different topic. But that's something you have to do, is you have to make that decision on yourself. Like I said, we're not alone. You're not alone through the things you're going through, because I've sat where you sat and I thought what you thought and I've done what you've done. And I know for a fact that you can change, our kids can change, and our kids can get help. And that's what's important to me. Like I said, each week's going to bring a different topic. This week was bullying. I could probably go on for days. But that's my main focus, is to get into our schools, to get into our youth, to get into our communities, and let them know from a bully and from being a bully perspective that they can get help. They can reach out to somebody. They can talk to somebody. I'm the perfect person to talk to about it because I've been through it. I'm somebody that's going to be there for you. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that, oh, yeah, I know how you feel, because I don't know how you feel. We're each different people. But I can tell you that I understand, and I can help you, and that I can talk to you, and we can get through this together. Please like, share the videos. I promise they're going to get better. Next week, we will have a live video feed from the camera. Things will be a little bit better. I'll be able to go into a little bit more depth with some things. And I appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.